Hello and welcome, friends. It is time for our monthly Masterboard challenge. This is challenge number 2 in this series. I hope you're ready for some Masterboard fun. So for today, you will need a base of some description. I recommend not going too large for this project unless you have heaps of one of our essential ingredients. So today we were using washi tape. If you have a huge assortment of washi tape that you really just want to start using and using up, then by all means do a large masterboard. If you've got a modest, sorry, my words are coming out all muddly, a modest supply, then you might want to go smaller. I've gone for just a book page here that's out of gardening book that's not too large. If you don't have washi tape or you don't have much washi tape at all, you could always make your own washi tape. I make my own washi tape from magazines, or you could just cut strips of paper. So there's always a way that you can participate. Just got to be a bit extra creative sometimes. The other thing I would mention is your base. Bear in mind that a lot of washi tapes are see-through or partly transparent, translucent. And so you will see peeps of your background popping through. So I wouldn't use anything that's got words on it that you might not want in your finished item, or images, or something that's perhaps too dark, or yeah. So just have a think about what your base has got on it already. I'm happy with this. It's just a gardening book, so it just talks about plants. I'm happy for peeps of that to show through. Conversely, you know, you might want to think about your base and put a plain base if you're worried about things popping through. But alternatively, you can use that to your advantage and add extra detail to your finished masterboard by having text pop. Gosh, my words. I apologize. My words are just not coming out properly today. Have pops of text popping through your washi tape is what I'm trying to say. Right, so I have no plans on what washi tape I'm going to use. I have set aside some I definitely don't want to use, like Christmas, glitter, and a few of my favourites that I like using normally. So let's just, oh, there's another Christmas one. Not going to use that one. Let's just dig in and start laying some down. And a lot of these washi tapes are ones I bought in bulk and are not particularly my style or what I would have purchased, you know, just if I was going out to buy washi tape, not necessarily ones that I would buy. So I'm just gonna, I do want mine to have straight edges or cut edges, but you can tear yours if you prefer. And I also recommend using some glue because we don't want our our masterboard to come apart on us. This is quite sticky, this one, but I'm still going to add some glue. This is a very wide washi, this one, and I'm just going to run it along. It is a little bit tricky when it curls up and sticks to itself, but persevere. You will get there. You could also put the glue directly on your paper if you wanted, but I'm just going to do this method and start laying down on your paper. My advice also is to go every which way, like vertical and horizontal is pretty much the two directions you've got open here. I wouldn't go diagonally, but you could if you really wanted to. Whoops, and it's not straight there. So I don't know, you probably can't see, but I can see words popping through the paler areas of that tape. So that's good. I'm just going to grab another one. A lot of my ends here aren't actually straight, so I'm just gonna, it's not too much of an issue. I can just lay them over top of each other, and I'm not measuring, I'm just, however long it is how long it's going to be. So I hope you've all had a fun week, my friends, that you've had something interesting, or made something interesting, done something interesting. I don't know that my week qualifiers, apart from Friday, which is the day this video goes up, is my shopping day, my grocery shopping day. So that is exciting for me. Only the second time I've done it since I took it back from hubby, and 6 years since I did it. Last did the grocery shopping, and so it's still new and exciting and a little bit daunting because the price of everything is just so stupid now, but you know, I'll adjust, I'll get used to it. Right, I'm going to go for a shorter piece because I don't want to end up with kind of all the same length going on. That would be a bit boring. And just use as many or as few washies as you like. I might throw in some magazine washi just so we can see what that looks like as well. And I'm not even sort of going with the colour theme. I'm just going to go eclectic. I might put another bit of this in. This is one I did buy. And then our technique today, we're going to be using paint. I'm using acrylic paint. You could use watercolor paint. You could, if we're going to do splatters as our technique. If you don't have any paint available to do splatters, then perhaps you've got a rubber stamp or a clear stamp that's in a like a spatter design. You could stamp instead. With an ink that is permanent and will work on this slightly shiny surface, so do bear that in mind. Now, is that going to be wide enough to get that? I think it is. This is a seashells. It's got silver seashells on it. This was from a collection, New Zealand Christmas collection, because of course our from a few years ago now, our summer is when we have our Christmas. We don't have a winter snowy Christmas, we have a summer beach barbecue type Christmas. So they did a release of New Zealand Christmas themed scrapbooking stuff featuring beaches and seashells and things, which was quite cool. Pop that a little bit there. And just build yourself up your masterboard. Of course, it's easy at the beginning because you're not sort of trying to fill gaps, but as we sort of get closer to covering the whole thing, we'll either overlap the washi or try and cut it to fit the size. But for now, I'm just laying down with complete abandon wherever I feel like it. It's pretty. Okay, let's grab out another one. Is that going to be wide enough? I think so. If it's not, we'll just put another strip of something over top, like layers. Don't be afraid of layers. About that long. So I hope you like this idea of the masterboard. Give it a go. Use the hashtag that I showed at the beginning, Monthlymasterboard, on social media if you participate, because I'd love to see what people make as usual. It's always exciting to see different results and that people are participating. So lots of text visible through that bit there and in between the bronzy type stripes. Let's do a bit of this green check pattern here. Why? Just because that's what my hand touched in my container. I'll just show you, this is my, oops, stuck to my glue pages. This is my box that I keep washies in, and then I've got other containers around my desk because it doesn't all fit in my box now, so I've had to utilize other things, but I thought I'm going to go with what's in the box because they're my oldest ones and a couple of my newest, coincidentally. but I've grabbed those aside because they're new, they're fresh, they're still interesting and fun to use. So let's use up some of the older ones, and older ones that perhaps aren't as sticky as what they once were. That's fun. Maybe we'll put another bit of this wide, maybe down here. Because I have not used this since I got it in the bulk amount that I bought. Oops, that's not straight. Let's straighten that up a bit. So let's actually use some, would be good. Shorter pieces are definitely easier to glue because they're not so much curling back on themselves. Oops, let's try that again and try and put it on straight. Line up this edge. That's better. And I've got little hangovers on the edges and I'll just trim those off afterwards. It's all good. So who participated in the first Masterboard challenge? I saw a few out there. What do you think so far? I mean, this is only number 2. Is it fun? Is it helpful? Hopefully it's a bit of both, but who doesn't love a good Masterboard and the possibilities of using it? So don't forget the Friday following this. So this comes out on a Friday, and then the Friday following I do a video where we use that Masterboard that we made in the first week. This tape I actually use semi-regularly, so I won't put much of this on. I'll just put a little bit. It's got butterflies, and I like peeling off 3 and using 3 on something. But again, I've had it for a long time and I've still got some, so we'll add a bit in here. You could also layer that, like this is quite see-through in between the butterflies. You could pop that on a more solid, like I could put that on top of there, or even halfway between, and actually I might do that. So you can layer them up. Just add a bit of break between them, between the different tapes. So there we go. Just put some butterflies on top of those 3 patterns there. Right, what else am I going to put down? A bit of this yellow wood grain, which I may have used, I may not have. I really don't remember. I've got this same pattern in brown, which I have used. Is it the same width as that? It is. So let's fill that little gap up here. Oops, I think I didn't cut it long enough, but never mind. Just add another strip of something if it's too short. No, it's fine. Sometimes it's hard to tell. And you can see I'm trying to like put them in different areas so they're not too close together. Let's put a longer piece of this. I'm loving this already. I think it looks pretty cool. Got a little gap here, so I might layer something over that area as well in time. This one I've used a lot and there's not a lot left on the roll, so I wonder if we can use it up. I think there's probably a little too much on the roll to use it in this project, but such a beautiful pink. Love it. windy here this afternoon. I don't know if you can hear the noise of the wind. It's an easterly, which is a cold wind. I think it would be a very hot day if it wasn't for the easterly. The sun is shining, the birds are singing. Beautiful day out there, apart from that cold wind. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that pink. Love it. Let's put a bit. No, we're not going to use it all up, but that's right. Save some for another day. And then I'll be hunting, trying to find another washi that's got this similar sort of pink to it, because it really is a beautiful pink. Yep, no. Let's try and get that a bit closer. Need to turn it around so I can actually see what I'm doing, where I'm lining it up to. That might help. Yeah, that was easier. I've just got a little bit that's popping up here. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to go in with my tacky glue. And that's going to, oh, if my glue's going to work. Come on, glue. Oh, no, it's just started to come. Here we go. And hopefully that's going to fix that one that keeps wanting to pop up there. Right, what's next? A bit of black dots. Why not? So the text is definitely going to show through this one. Where do I want this one? Maybe we'll put some down this edge here, because then we're going to get mostly just the dots showing up really nicely without the text. Oops, a lump of glue there. Don't want you. Come on, get off of there. Not being compliant. There we go. It's got some, I don't know if those black marks are on top of the tape or underneath, but never mind. And let's put a bit on top of the text as well, so we can see a different effect. And then I should grab out some of my magazine washi just so we can have a look at what that looks like intermixed, or interspersed I should say, probably. Don't know that intermixed is a word. Maybe we'll go up here. There we go, that's fun. Right, let's grab magazine washi. So this is my folder and it's full of washi that I've made from magazines, sorted by colour and a little bit by pattern. Right, straight away I'm seeing this little piece here, which, you know, has limited uses for a short piece. So let's put that on. It's got a slightly, and no need to add glue stick because this is on double-sided tape. Where'd that piece go that I cut off? It's probably stuck to my scissors. No, it's stuck to my thumb. Get off. I don't need you. There we go. I just can't get enough of making faux washi like this. It's just so much fun, and it's fun to use. I might put this down here. Thing with it being on double-sided tape is you have less leeway for placement. It's like once it's down, it's down. Right, I see another little short bit here of something else. Just a wee floral. Cute. Little pink and purple with green leaves. And your text or whatever's on your page is less likely to show through unless you've got a very pale piece that on very thin paper. Where am I going to put this bit? Let's pop it here. And of course this is different width too, because it's using double-sided tape as opposed to the normal widths of washi tape. Cool. What else can we find in here? Just looking for the short bits that might not sort of have other uses. Maybe there's a little sort of stone or concrete type texture. And often these are short bits because I've used part of the length already, and then of course I'm not going to throw out a perfectly good bit of faux washi with tape on it. Let's pop you up there. That fits that gap quite nicely. What else? Let's see if we've got something a bit more colourful that we can grab. I do have lots more colourful pieces. It's just trying to see them and grab them from the bottom. Here's a short little fat bit. Use that, and so I'll grab maybe a couple more bits and then we'll go back to the actual washi. What's in here? This is sort of an eclectic mix of different patterns and colours that kind of didn't fit any other category. I couldn't do it really into colours because there were just too many colours on each piece. Yeah, that's a short bit. There we go. That'll be fine. Maybe we can pop that bit. It's not actually straight, and I want that to be straight-ish. That I don't think I think I made it worse. Let's just get it down and we'll just cover it over with other washi on the ends or something to fix. Sometimes it's a little hard to get the backing off. That's the only downside in my point of view of making this faux washi like this. That and that trimming the paper along the side of the tape can gum up your scissors, and I just take them with a wet wipe when they get too sticky, and then you're good to go again. So not too big of an issue. Actually, I might put it over here. Can I get it back up? It's not quite where I wanted it. There. And this very colourful piece, maybe we will put there, I think. This is narrow double-sided tape. It's a very narrow piece. Fun. Okay, I'm feeling like I want some more of this yellow. Let's just go, oops, and there you get when it does that, when it peels, which is super frustrating. Obviously we're going for a short piece now, which wasn't my intention, but there you go. Good way to use up tapes that do that on you too, is just let them tear and just pop them down and layer them up around this way, I think. There we go. What else do we have? This one, this has got little birds and bird houses, bird cages I should say, and flowers on it. Slightly different, it's more plasticky, this tape, which why I don't use this one very often, because yeah, just the texture's different, but it is cute. It's a different brand, I don't know what brand, because it's again one out of the bulk lot I bought from someone destashing, and it just gouged out my glue because it has that firmer, just looking for something to take the glue off my thumb there, firmer texture to it, more plasticky texture. Now my fingers are so sticky, I'm sticking to everything, and I've got this channel in my glue now where it gouged out the glue, so not helpful. Almost fills the gap, not quite. Got a little gap there that we need to plug. How about some of this red and white stripe? I feel very relaxed doing this, finding it quite just chilled activity. Just randomly choosing and gluing and plopping it down. Bit of red, let's put a bit of red down the side here as well. You can see I'm starting to kind of measure to fill gaps, or to make sure things meet so I don't end up with gaps. But I'll plug gaps so it's not the end of the world. The end of the world if you have gaps. And I've ended up with a gap there. I cut it too short. That's okay. Right, what would we, I'm feeling like a narrow one there. Somewhere I've got a black and white one. Where did I put it? Here. This is one I was sent in Happy Mail, and I've got 2 rolls of it, so that's fun. Let's put that in there. I have to say, black and white is probably my favourite washi. I love the graphic quality to black and white prints. It doesn't even really matter what the print is, I just like that graphic quality. And again, I've picked up a big wad of glue, gouged out the glue. Oh, sticky, I'm so sticky. I might have to grab a wet wipe and deal with my sticky fingers. Just give me a moment. I'm at the end of my wet wipe bag, so they're not very wet anymore, because the closure doesn't stay closed, and my washi tape that I use to stick it down, it's not really doing a great job. Right, let's just give my fingers a wee wipe, because they are dreadfully sticky. Right, that's a bit better. Oh, better sip my tea. I haven't had a sip since I started. Yum, yum, yum. It's not too cold yet. Right, and I think I'll put a bit down here as well. And because this is a black and white one, and it's quite see-through in parts, I am, oh, excuse me, air bubbles in my throat with that sip of tea. It was terribly I hope you didn't hear it, but if you did, please excuse me. Overlapping it as I was saying before my body rudely interrupted, so you're getting some of the colour pop through in places of the underlying washi. Okay, what's next? I feel like I need to bring in some of our earlier ones. So this one we only used once. Let's put a strip of that in as well. Another strip. I think we only used it once. Yeah, I can only see it once, so. Now, I am going to trim this down a bit. And use it to plug this gap we've got down here in between the two washies. And I did end up with a gap there, so I'll have to plug that with something else. That's okay. Right, we've also only used this little green plus symbol one once. Let's put another bit of that. I hope you're relaxed as you watch this. Maybe you're crafting with me or doing some sort of crafting. Maybe you're doing housework. I don't know. What are you doing while you watch? While you listen, maybe. Sometimes it's more about the listening, isn't it? Because you're busy doing something else. Right. Do we need to use any others that we've only used once? I think we're good. Of course, the faux washi is different because we're just using one bit. This is quite a nice one too. So red and actually I think it's supposed to be gold, but it looks more green than gold, but still nice. Yeah, this is a newer one, so I should really be trying to use up the older ones, but never mind, it's all good. They're still making washi, aren't they? Yeah, like that. That's nice. And maybe we'll put a little bit, we've got a little gap here, maybe we'll put a bit there. Very eclectic, very fun. You could totally colour theme it if you prefer. You could, if you've got a bunch of neutral washies, you could do a really nice neutral one, or you could, if you've got lots of glitter ones or lots of metallics, you could just like do the whole thing in those. You don't have to go eclectic. I just quite like eclectic. Let's put some of this in because this is a colour that's not in there anywhere else. So of course we want to add it. This is a nice one as well. I like this pattern. And the colour is pretty. Sort of same sort of value as the pink actually. In terms of the brightness and clarity of colour. Oh, no, it's long enough. I just didn't put it in the right place. Shift it up a bit. There we go, that's better. I might only have one of that piece because if we put another piece it's going to be very close. I think I want to start repeating some again, maybe that we've already got a couple of. So maybe some of this green would be good. Just put a bit in there. We've only got one of that bird one too. Maybe we should put another bit of that in at the risk of my glue stick. A glue stick was harmed in the creation of this masterboard. These and other crimes. On the 6 o'clock news. Now I'm just being silly. Nothing wrong with being silly, is there? Having fun, being light-hearted. Yeah, I don't like the texture of this tape. I don't like the way it gouges out my glue stick either. But it is cute and pretty. Okay, feeling like I want another little pop of yellow in there. I've already got 3 spots, but let's do another bit. Is this one that ripped on me? Yes, it is. I'm just trying to find that pointy end. Sorry, I was probably off camera then. Just trying to find the end where it went funky. It funkified. There's a good word for you, funkified. It's fun to make up words. Do you make up words? On purpose, I mean, not accidentally. I think we all tend to make up words accidentally because it just like, you know what we're trying to say and it just comes out and it's like, yeah, well, that's not what I meant, but actually it's kind of cool. Sometimes it's a combination of 2 words that kind of came out together. Oh, a fire siren for the 2nd time today. These winds aren't great for spreading fire. Once it starts, the wind just carries it. Not great. And we're on water restrictions now. Which means our new car, which hubby has washed, we've had it 2 weeks, we're in our 3rd week. He's washed it twice in those 2 weeks and would be doing the same this weekend. But we can't, or he can't, because of the restricted water that's now in place. So that's a shame. Our car's going to have to just be dirty along with everybody else's. Do we want to, why not, let's just add a new one in. I was going to repeat them, wouldn't I, but no, let's just add another one in. Random bit of purple, because it's cute too and it's older. So yes, the fire sirens have been going off a lot lately. There was a big fire about 5 minutes away from us, a rural fire, and we were out at the time that it was going on, and when we got home, like, the whole town was like, you couldn't see it in the air, but if you went inside and walked outside, then the whole air that you walked into was kind of this smudgy brown colour from the smoke. But if you were just walking out in it, you didn't really know, you could smell it, but you didn't notice the dirtiness of the air until you went in somewhere that was like air conditioned, and then you could see it when you come out. So that wasn't great, and it took them, they got it contained that same day after several hours, but it wasn't actually completely out. It took them another few days of using diggers and things to push up piles of branches and stuff and bury this smouldering plant life and stuff to finally get it out. There's been a lot of fires around North Canterbury over the last couple of weeks. Not great. But then I know there's lots of you that live in areas like Australia where wildfires, and in the States as well, I know you have a lot of fires. It's quite a big thing. And there was a fire in just this week, I think. There was a fire, was it in Christchurch? Was it Christchurch or somewhere else? I can't remember now. my husband read it in the news and read it out, but I can't remember whether it was Christchurch or somewhere out of Christchurch where several homes were destroyed, which is really sad. And I know there's areas that are far more affected by it than what we are, but I think no matter where you are, it's just a huge thing to lose your home. Do I want to just put a bit of this wide one in the middle there? Yeah, let's do that. Let's just pop a bit of this in there, and then we can get on to our next stage, because I don't know how long we've been going. Oh, quite a while. Just busy chatting away and sticking things down. And I do believe I have, see, that's not straight, doesn't matter. Have at least one gap, do we? Yeah, one gap here. Do we have any others? I think I managed to plug one down here. So maybe I'll put a bit of this purple down there. There'll be another place to add this little purple one. And down here, what would we like to add in down here? Maybe a bit of that blue, that tealy colour. Be a good place for that. Oh, at the end. Now you could stop at this. You know, once you've got your masterboard all done up, you could stop at this stage, chop it up and use it and call it good. And that's perfectly valid. But for this challenge, we are combining a type with a technique. So we've done our type, which is washi tape. Now it's time to do the technique. So let me just clear these washies away, out of my way. Put these ones back in the box that I had set aside. These two black and whites, which are relatively new to me. I just love using those, and my beautiful neutrals that I didn't want to use in this manner, and a floral there, which is a new one. Right, so I'm just gonna pop those somewhere. On the floor's good. Please excuse me, I've got an eye issue today and it's causing my eye to run, and that also makes my nose run. So I haven't got a cold or anything, it's just a stupid eye issue and it's really annoying. Right, so I'm going to use white paint for this technique part. We are doing splatters, so I do recommend protecting your surface and the things around your surface with some scrap paper or, you know, something of that sort. Oh, interesting. Got all sorts of bits tucked in. So I'm just going to use this newsprint. It's effectively newsprint paper. It's packing paper. Just kind of smush it down a little bit there. I have a bottle lid here which I use as a palette. I've got some water, I've got a paintbrush, just one that we can splatter with, and my paint. So I'll just give that a mix up. You don't need a lot of paint for this, guys, just a little goes a long way, because we're going to water it down so that it's more splattering. If you just use straight paint, it's, depending on the quality of the paint, it's not going to splatter very well because it's going to be too thick. So judge for yourself on your paint, maybe give it a test run and see whether it's going to splatter as is. And if it's, you know, too thick, not splattering, or just leaving big blobs, then add water a little at a time until you're happy with how it splatters. And using like your splash paper behind is a good place to test on. So just going to mix it up with the paintbrush, and being careful that you don't use so much water that you actually dilute the colour. because then you're not going to get a nice white, or whatever colour you're using. You don't have to use white, you could use black or any colour that you feel goes with your masterboard. I think black and white are good choices because they're going to, whatever colours you use here, they're going to kind of bring it together. Right, so I'll give it a, now somebody said something about tapping the paintbrush on something. I can't remember who said it or what they said precisely, but I thought it was a good idea. So maybe I'll just use the side of my bottle to, it will make a bit of noise though, is the only thing. See, it's quite big splatters, quite big. I wonder whether it's too much water or not enough. I don't want to end up with paint on everything, so I'm just going to, maybe the paintbrush might be an issue, or maybe I've got too much paint on my paintbrush. So it's a bit of trial and error. That's better. So I think it was too much paint on my paintbrush. Right, let's just go for it. And I'm getting splatter on the side of my bottle, which is fine. I can wipe it off, and it doesn't matter if it gets covered in paint anyway. So let's go. Hopefully I don't splatter the camera. And you can put as little or as much on as you like. Just do be aware that don't go too wet, or you might lift up the washi with the glue stick. It could just come loose with too much wetness. I'm kind of thinking that bottle's not really working for me. Yeah, that's better. I think I actually do prefer using my hand. So it was a good suggestion, whoever made it. Oops. I'm just seeing where I'm splattering. It's going it's going everywhere, like all over my punch here. I think I need my wet wipe. Just let me do a little cleanup here. Obviously didn't put my paper far enough. I mean, it's not the end of the world really, but you know, it just looks like it's got some sort of disease or something. I've got it all over the arm of the camera, hopefully not on the camera itself. And then my Poscas and my marker pens and things here have got splatters as well. I can scrape it off with my fingernail. Right, let's just perhaps take a moment and do that so the paper's kind of lifted up. Now it may have a shadow because it's partly in front of the light that's at the front of my desk, but hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. Right, let's go again. So be warned, it can get messy. Doing this inside a box is an excellent idea. Of course, if you're not filming, it's not so bad because you're not constrained by needing to be in front of a camera, being visible like I am. But it's fun, like it is fun to do. And it's just adding that fun layer and kind of making everything cohesive, because it's all different, but the white paint goes across everything. And I do love doing a splatter. And I'm doing quite a lot. You can do as little or as much as you like. Just want to try and get some bigger splotches. Right, that's probably enough. I've probably gone overboard, but you know, it's fun. It's fun, it's messy, and sometimes messy can just be very liberating. And the paintbrush is losing its blue metallic coating all over my fingers as well. It's a cheap paintbrush and it's just coming off. Right, so that needs to go into water. That needs to be washed. Let's remove this paper. Out of the way. Oh, sorry about that. All you would have got would have been my big hand and a huge big grey whitey piece of paper. Gosh, I've got all this tiny little splatter at the front here, and it's dried, but it's on this plastic, blue plastic stuff in the back. So not a big deal really. So there we go. There is my masterboard for Masterboard, Monthly Masterboard, month 2, number 2. That needs to dry. But can you see that splatter? I hope you can see the splatter. It's just fun. Like, it's really fun, guys. Fun, very therapeutic, just laying down that washi. Just like playing with strips, just going for it. Use up some that you've got had hanging around, or if you don't have enough or don't have any, make your own. Or just cut strips of paper out of a magazine or whatever. You could even do it out of newspaper. Nothing's off limits. Arrange it however you like. Add some splatters. If you do newsprint, actually adding splatters of like a bright red or pink or royal blue or something, that would be super pretty. If someone does do that, I'd love to see it. Please share it with me. I'd love to see if anybody does it that way. So there we go. Give it a go. Let me know what you think, and have a great weekend. Take care, and I'll be back next Friday to use this little masterboard and make some ephemera with it. So join me then too. Of course, videos up Monday through to Saturday on my channel regularly. Okay guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.